So here we are going to know about three villages which have been badly affected by the dumps. What are these dumps? You have industrial areas in almost every district place of any state, any district place. We have the industrial estates. So these industries are required. We cannot say we don't want. If there is no cotton industry, what we can wear? If there is no plastic industry, simply you cannot imagine the day you are opening your mouth or the eyes from the plastic tube, you have to remove the toothpaste, and you have to keep on the plastic brush. From there it starts. So plastic industry is necessary. Shoe you have to wear, necessary. Many more things are necessary, they are to be there, you cannot avoid them. But there are certain norms for these factories to maintain. Factory Act is there, factory inspectors are there, right? And sanitary inspectors are there. Sanitation is necessary, hygiene is necessary, right? And effluent cleaning is also necessary, and removal of wastage is also necessary. You see how many things are there for a factory. How many factory, what we can say, the so-called maliks, right, owners of the factories, how much they are abide by these rules, these norms. Will anybody check them? So if they are not checking, why not? If it's all they are checking, how they are checking it? Why this is necessary? Very simply, if at all we have a tanning industry in your area, if at all you have some medicinal factories in your area, chemical factories, if you go to the Balanagar industrial area, it stinks. You cannot breathe fresh air. It is very scarce. Why? Earlier Balanagar was the outskirts of Hyderabad and Secunderabad. Now, because our Hyderabad has increased up to your Patancheru, Balanagar comes under the heart of Hyderabad. And there, because it was the outskirts of Hyderabad, there we have established some chemical factories. It's okay. It will go. But now it is not okay. Because there are houses all around. Because of those chemical factories, their presence and their smoke which is going out, the vapors which are going out, right? And sometimes the chemicals drums, they catch fire. Clouds, thick clouds would come. That thick clouds, if they go inside your lungs, what would happen to your lungs? Just think about. And the skin, itchy skin will start because of that only. I am not just simply showing the thing and threatening you, but these are the consequences. In these three villages, the same thing occurred. There, people have come and said, we want to establish a tanning industry here. By this, many people will be employed and you will get money, saying that they acquired land. Tanning industry has been set up. But tanning industry means what? To tan this skin, to make it ready for your jackets, leather jackets, shoes, belts and all these things. To get the skin ready for that, the hide ready for that. So it has to be soaked. It has to be cleaned by chemicals. And that soaked water, it will get very stinky. And because it is soaked, there may be some growth within it, some bacteria, something. What do they do with that water which they have used? It is called as industrial effluent. And that industrial effluent, where they leave it? Into your regular stream of the river or into the ponds over there, or any lake is there, into that they leave it. Right? They have been said you have to leave it there. But after doing what? After normalizing the water. Normalizing means what? They have to treat it. They should have a treating plant within it. Water treatment plant. When it gets normal, either they have to recycle it, reusing. And if it cannot be used, it should be sent into the plants and trees. Or it should be sent into the nearby stream or nearby river or nearby lake. And so there is a stream over there, into that this water is being left. The water which has been used for the treatment of tanning. How? Without treating it. By that many people have lost many parts of their bodies. They have become lepers. Why? Because of the chemicals, amount of chemicals over there. The skin should become very smooth. The hide, the cow hide which has been taken, that should become to the leather. This is hide. This should become leather, and this work has to be done. For that, how much chemicals they have used, that was left in the water and that has gone into stream. And the people they are drinking that water and they are taking bath over there and everything there only. So with that contaminated water, many people died. And here we can see the anguish of an old woman. And she was showing that factory. It has become a demon for us, a devil for us. It has eaten away our own children. That is the anguish we can see of a woman who lived in Ponnimatturu village in Tamil Nadu of India because of your tanning industry. And here if you see this first one, cocoa village of Nigeria. The cocoa village of Nigeria, one fine morning, Wednesday morning or something, some drums have been brought over there. They have been left over there. While the drums are being left over there, the village had objected. Hey, what is this you are bringing here? Hey, don't worry, the drum, no, we will remove it. But for some time, you can keep it here. And further, they have given some money to that headman. Finished. From then onwards, the drums are coming and they are being dumped over there, but there is no removal. And what does the drums have? The drums have chemicals. The drums have paints. What will happen to that? It is intact in the drum now and it is open for the sun and in your tin, because the pressure inside gets increased. And so bursting of drums, leakage of that content. For long, the people could not understand why our people are getting diseases and dying slowly. There in that village, there is a bright boy who studied chemistry and he could able to understand the hazard over there which has been dumped over there. Knowingly also you know it, but what can you do for it? So the village has that kind of a burnt over there. It is losing its own children for that chemicals over there. Silently. One day there may not be any village over there. If everybody is dying, to save their children, the people may migrate to some other place. Right? That is what occurred over there. That village also started dying. Here also in Tamil Nadu, that village also started dying. And you must have heard the Bhopal gas leakage. Bhopal gas. Right? So this, I feel it is about 20, 25 years or 30 years ago episode it is. During the 80s. So in Bhopal there is a company and there a gas is leaked. Gases, as you hear, these may be lighter than your air or heavier than your air. But these chemical gases, they will be always heavier than the atmospheric air. Something will be floated away, but most of the thing will come down onto the earth. As if it is a cloud, it will be hovering there. Wherever that clouds are hovered over there, those people died. Right? And many people became blind, many people became, limbs are not working and lungs are not working. Like that they have become. Right? The case was going on in the courts. But what I want to say is, why that occurred over there? Because necessary precautions have not been taken. And if this is the hazard, what kind of a thing we have to take? They don't want. If this is the thing, what precautionary measure we have to take? They don't bother. As long as I am getting, Union Carbide is the name of the factory, company. As long as my company is making profits, I claim it is mine, it's okay. But when this occurred, the complete people over there suffered, affected by that. Nobody comes forward to help them. Right? And there are many, the cases are still going on in the court, and that is still going on. Why I said that is here is, you have a Vorobyev village in Ukraine. One fine morning, everybody was very happy. Children were playing, women were at work, and men have gone for working. Everything is fine. But something suddenly occurred over there. There started the ashes falling. When it is falling, children have seen, oh, ashes are falling. They played with that. Right? And when they have played over there, the ashes were everywhere, on the tops of the houses, in the houses, on the bodies, everywhere. Then death started. Wherever the ashes has fallen, the people started dying. Why? Some company over there, something bursted over, and the chemicals, they have come over here and they have fallen on this village. The complete village has gone. Why these three villages? Why we are reading about it? The environment and the safety of that, it is a must. If you read that, you have to weep. That way it has been described over there. So the complete villages have gone eradicated, completely removed. Means human beings not only partial with the other animals. Earlier I said snakes, tigers, elephants and rhinoceros, they are being poached, and even your peacocks and your many kinds of birds, they are being poached for many things. The man is not simply satisfied with that kind of a disaster. Then for my company, what may happen, I don't bother. Means even if a human being of my kind, even if he is suffering, I don't bother. To that extent, our mentality has grown cruel. That is what we can see within these three villages. Yeah. One other thing what we are reading about here, I can remember the time, Ponnamatturi village of Tamil Nadu. She said wistfully, when all the fields around this village were green and the harvest good, her outstretched arm described a complete circle as she stood in the morning sun. Then they built those monsters. She called the factories as monsters. Those, her voice spluttered in anger as she shook her fist as a collection of ominous-looking black buildings on the horizon, covered in the low-laying shrouds of thick smoke. They said that factories need leather to make shoes, handbags, and clothes. They said our manfolk would get jobs. They said we all become rich. We stood silent when we heard her anguish. We had to keep silent, that's all. Why? They didn't tell us that the chemicals would be dumped in open fields and into our rivers, sighed Vijayamma. Vijay Sama. We had been thinking the same thoughts. They didn't tell us that our women would have to work 10 kilometers every day. They didn't tell us that we would get ulcer and sores in our bodies. They didn't tell us. Her voice trailed off. They tell something and remaining things they did not tell. Your menfolk will earn money. We are establishing companies and everybody will be absorbed. They get money. They are happy. But now what happened? The untreated water has been sent into their water. They cannot drink it. They have to go somewhere to collect water. And if at all they take it, and when we drink that water, ulcer forms here. Ulcer is nothing but in your stomach, intestines, there will be wounds which ooze blood out. And if you eat some chili or something, they get burned inside. You can't eat. Ultimately, for weakness, you have to die. They did not tell that we will get ulcer. They did not tell that we have to go for water for 10 kilometers. They did not say. So that way, the woman shows the anguish. Here about the other village, what I talked about here is the Cocoa village. Mr. Sunday Nana, his wife and 4 small children live in Cocoa village, Nigeria. The village is like any other African village, picturesque, colorful and noisy. We know the village. It is noisy and very beautiful landscape. Everything will be there. Picturesque, it has been called here. Right? It was like that. The Nana family's house too is the same as all the other houses in the village, with mud walls and a rusting corrugated iron roof, and with children and chickens sharing the compound. There is a difference, however. Outside Mr. Nana's front are 3 large empty metal drums. The bright red paint now flaking away, but the skull of crossbones symbol clearly visible on earth. And in a clearing 200 meters away from the village, next to a stream that the villagers get their drinking water from, in an enormous pyramid of identical drums reaching to the sky. Some of them are badly corroded. Their slimy contents of various colors, grey, dark green, bright orange, etc., leaking out down onto the baked African earth and into the stream. You see, the drums are piled up as a pyramid, as if they are touching the sky, and every drum is leaking, and the leakage is going into the drinking water. Now, how the people can survive over there? It was earlier a very pleasant atmosphere there. Now, the atmosphere is nil over there. They cannot enjoy. So, third thing is Wabyo village. It happened on April the 26th, 1986. I remember that date because it was my mother's birthday. We had the explosion early in the morning. We didn't worry because there had been explosions before from Chernobyl. But this one was bigger. Everyone stopped what they were doing and listened. Then we ran out into the garden. We could see a cloud of white smoke coming from the nuclear reactor. What happened? Nuclear reactor, it got bursted, and so the white clouds are coming to their side. Natasha Revanko wiped her hands nervously on her apron. Tears came to the corners of her eyes and slid slowly down her pinched pale cheeks. It was a Saturday, she went on, while still wiping her hands on her apron. It was a lovely warm day, and the children played outside for the weekend. Even when the dust began to fall, they still played outside. They picked up handfuls of it and threw it at each other, laughing. It was Wednesday before the loudspeaker van came to the village, telling us to keep our children indoors and not to touch the radioactive dust. What has fallen over there is radioactive dust, and the children already played, and there is an announcement after 3 to 4 days that the dust should not be touched. What touched? It has fallen on them. Now you can understand how many deaths would have occurred over there. So, these are the things where we are neglecting our environment. Ecological footprints. That is one more thing what we have to read over here. That is, since 1970, humanity has been in ecological overshoot with annual demand of resources exceeding what Earth can regenerate each year. Now, people have felt this ecological balance has to be maintained. Then, what has to be made? We are to safeguard certain monuments, certain structures, certain rocks, certain hills, certain trees, certain groves, certain forests. We are to safeguard them. That is what people have understood we have to take care of. Better late than never. So, here, if you remember, Hyderabad was very famous. What for? The rocks. What are these rocks?
If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel to get more videos on CBSE syllabus.